Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're doing a What You're Reading. And why? Because I got a lot of time on my hands. I've been reading a lot of comic books. Although, oddly enough, for the past 2 days, I have not read any comics. So I will rectify that by reading a bunch of comics today. So this is what I've been reading since the last time I did What You're Reading. And as always, What You're Reading and things like that are open invite. So you can click on this link and pop in and talk comic books with me, or you could just stay in the chat. It's up to you. So there you go. So let's take a look. So these are kind of out of order, but Batman 540. I've been filling in holes in my collection, and for some reason I was missing these. So this is from like 1997. So old Batmans. And it's funny that I consider that they're old Batmans when I consider them like, I don't know, like a week ago. It's funny how time flies as you get older. But these are Doug Moench. Is that how you say it? Doug Moench, Kelly Jones. And here is people keep messaging me. It's funny. They wait until I go live and then they message me. Here's the sequel to it, the Spectre. Now this was interesting. I really like this story because it was a two-part story. Is some mob hitman kills another mob guy. You know, mob guys are like the mob is pretty dangerous to other mobsters. You know what I mean? Like the average guy doesn't really have much to fear from the mob, but a mobster gets killed by another mobster, and he gets questioned by the Spectre in the afterlife, and he says, "Batman set me up. Batman killed me." So the Spectre goes to extract revenge against Batman, and then finds out that Batman is innocent, which goes to show you that the Spectre may be omnipotent, but he's not omniscient. You know, he's not all-knowing, which is like Morgoth from the Silmarillion. You know, Tolkien, Morgoth, the Dark God. Like I think about that a lot. That he's ultra powerful, but he's not all powerful. He can't affect the water, and he can't create. And he's definitely not all. He definitely is not omniscient because he couldn't find Gondor. You know, he can't seem to fly, but whatever. And the Three Hidden Cities. This I did for last week's Sunday Comics. Total Dragon channel says beautiful Kelly Jones cover. Yes, I agree. I agree. This is one of my favorite comics of all time. You know, it's a little hoity-toity with Alan Moore, but it's just like this comic to me. The ending is a little, you know, philosophical or whatever, but it's like the journey is better than the destination. I just love this comic so much. Here's some more from that Batman run. More Kelly Jones. What this is this was like a three issue story of started it in what was it, the final night when the sun went out and the superheroes had to relight the sun, and Man-Bat went nuts. You know, Man-Bat went on this nuts. So like Man-Bat was going around fighting. It was a good way to have Batman show up because Final Night is one of those rare occasions where the exact, you know, if you have two Batman comic books, how are you going to have two different stories on the same night? You know what I mean? It stretches continuity, and I'm big on continuity. It's like I've come to realize that like continuity is make or break me. That's why I don't have my heart in DC anymore. You know, I jumped in on Crisis on Infinite Earth, and it should have been like, you know, getting into DC at Crisis on Infinite Earths is like cheating on a girl, and then no, going to a bar and picking up a girl who's cheating on her boyfriend, and then being shocked that she cheated on you. If DC could disregard their continuity of Crisis on Infinite Earths, why was I so shocked that they started all over again? You know what I mean? That's stretched analogy. Okay, this this is out of order. So this was an old Wizard magazine. I was given a bag of comics by Arthur Tripp, and this was one of them in it. I just get a kick out of it. Like, look, what's that? Everybody says, what are the kids saying? We used to have a proper country. I mean, the comic book industry used to produce magazines like this, monthly. How did this die? How did look at this? And they would have like 30-page, well, maybe not 30-page, but like long articles, with creators. It was so good. Maybe it was corrupt. Maybe I was, maybe it was like today we got Rich Johnson and Heidi McDonald, but maybe I was just naive back then. I don't know. I did a random review of an issue of Wizard myself. Wizard was so much fun. I got Wizard and Toy Fair every month, and sometimes I look forward to them more than I did the actual comics. So this is Kaijus and Cowboys. This is by Frankie B. Washington. This is from Kickstarter. Do you like it? It's like a Japanese toy robots meet giant monsters. It's, what else do you want? So it's these. They sent these like large Japanese anime style robots to a planet to terraform it, and they encounter kaijus on this planet, and it's just kaijus and cowboys. Not too many humans. This is the Fabled Offering. As I get hair out of my mouth, where did hair come from? I guess my cat. Fabled Offering. This just came in. It's a crowdfunded comic. Beautiful art, beautiful coloring. This is The Punisher of the Max. I reread this because I had Valerie D'Orazio on my channel, so it just sat on my stack. Because once I take them out and either reread them, they stay in my stack until I do one of these videos. Now I can put the comics away. But this was good. Watch my conversation with Valerie. We talk about this a lot, actually. So nothing more to say. Here's more Kaijus and Cowboys. So there's 4 issues. I think the 5th issue is on Kickstarter right now. You want to hear a weird complaint? They don't put the issue number on the cover. So I almost read them out of order. And if you know me, that drives me crazy. Oh my God. So, they have the indicia is the only way to know what issue it is. It just drives me nuts. I know it's minor complaint, but put the issue number on the cover. This is Private Dance, number 3. Oh no, nudity, boobies. There's a time and place. This is a real interesting story. Yes, there's nudity. Yes, there's sex, but like it's not like graphic porn. It's more like an R-rated movie, no, I take it back. There's not graphic sex. There's nudity. And it's cheeky comics. So you know what you're getting. It's not thrown in front of kids. It's not but it's a story of a couple that's having problems, and they go to a strip club to spice up their sex life. The guy is kind of a wuss. The woman's kind of like dominant, and he meets a stripper girl that he just is infatuated with, and the wife meets another stripper, a different stripper girl, that she didn't realize she was attracted to women. So it's like, okay, let's spice up our life. And now like they're both going out to meet the strippers after work, and they both, like, the husband knows the wife's going out, the wife knows the husband, but they pretend they don't. So I'm like invested. Like, are they going to work out their problems and save their marriage, or are they going to break up? I want to know. It's actually a pretty good story. And then the strippers themselves, they got messed up lives. One of them, the mother is dementia, and she's wandering out of the hospital, and they're like threatened to kick her out of the hospital because she's just like, they wake up and she's like hitchhiking down the highway, the mother, and then the brother is just a drug addict bum who's not. And then the other one, you know, she's more together, but it's an interesting story. And then there's this Russian stripper that's just like sabotaging everybody. It's a good comic. Tantalizing comics. This is Paul Monsky. He was on my channel. Do you like Jungle Girls? This cover, she looks a little too masculine for my taste, but inside she's sexy, and it's an homage to all those Jungle Girl comics. I like Damn Dirty Thing. This is the comic that comes. I didn't read the short novel yet, but I read the comic. If you like Harry Dresden, he's a wizard. He's a wizard. Private Eye. So urban. Whatchamacallit? Urban fantasy. What does Mike say? Wizard got bad towards the end. It was an issue of Maximag. They were doing stereo installation and fitness. Oh, really? Oh, wow. That must have been when I was super broke, right as my last year of college. I stopped comics. I stopped everything. So maybe I missed that. Either that or memory is funny, I need issue numbers on my yes, absolutely. Unless it's a one shot, I need numbers, and I really don't get me wrong. I like kaijus and cowboys. I like Frankie and I like the comic, but the numbers, you got to put numbers. People freaking calling me my phone. The Rookie, I bought this. I don't know why I bought this, but I didn't realize it was part 2. The first issue was something else, and it just ruined the story for me because the first issue is like a comic called The Critters or something like that in the third issue. So what happens is this was a new company that had a whole universe, and I think they did a rookie mistake. They gave you a little bit of the story in this comic, a little bit of the story in another comic with a different title and another character so I just bought this because I like the art, I don't know, something about this intrigued me, so I got it. And now I got the middle part of a 3-part story, and the comic book company's already defunct. Let that be a lesson to you, because I was going to do the same thing with Heroic Tales, so and now my phone's ringing. So I learned from mistakes that other people make. Powers, I didn't realize I was missing this. You see, this Wizard would put out their own, like special editions. So this is Wizard 1/2. Now, obviously it goes in front of issue. So it's a little short. Doesn't mean anything story. A lot of these 1/2 issues are nothings. They're just little flavors. They're just little giveaways that came inside Wizard magazine. They would come polybagged with Wizard. Coney Waves. I got this because Renzo Rodriguez, the artist on Heroic Tales, he drew it. He drew the crowdfunded version for Mark Polton. And then I was like, oh, that was pretty good. So then I looked up, and there's a couple of issues of Coney Waves that came out, normally through comic book stores stuff. So I picked them up. So I thought that my complaint about the Coney Waves Kickstarter was like, it seems like I'm missing something. Oh, okay, there's extra stories. So, this I did a video on. This was, a Marvel preview. And I got to say, Marvel looks like they stepped up their art game. Graveyard Shift. Supplemental. Colors are good. That's all I'll say. Sorry, I don't like Graveyard Shift. I'm sorry. I just don't like it. And I bought like all of them too. And the problem is I kept them in a stack, and I would get the newer and newer issues of them and then put them on top. I will say this. I'm almost finished reading the last one, the Omega Storm, the one everybody was complaining about. That's the best one. That's written by John Mallet. Now, the first couple of pages, man, does he need to work with an editor. But I actually care about the characters. I actually care about the stories. Now, it's violent and disturbing. And again, I'm not a prude. Everything in its place. And if John Mallet wants to make violent, disturbing comics, and it's clear before people buy it, fine. I just talked about a comic book set in a strip club. That's fine. So that don't bother me. it would bother me if it was out of the blue and it was like Superman or Batman or whatever. That's why the boys is the boys. It is what it is, but it's not a a bait and switch. So I'm liking the Omega Storm. So just because I had a problem with one John Malin book doesn't mean I'm going to blanketly hate all of it. I'd like to think I'm fair. Who the? Jeez. My phone's like blowing up off the hook right now. And I got to check because it could be the doctor calling back. I need the issue numbers on my car. Oh, yeah. Gray Wolf, how you doing? Student of God, how you doing? So this is the Mighty Barbarians. Hey, Red Alpha Comic, how you doing? How's everything? Good to see all these people here. Good to see. I know it was a surprise thing in the middle of the day. It's not my normal time. I normally would be, if go back to work, I would record videos and then release like usually on Sundays I'll record like 5 issues, 10 minutes each, and then put them on a schedule and release them. But since I'm home, why not? So this is the Mighty Barbarians. What is the Mighty Barbarians? This is the first issue. I'm missing issue number 2, so I got to get that, and then I got the rest of them. But it's a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen Barbarians issue. So it's Cull, Morgana Le Fay, and Anastasia. So the African mythological characters. So it's literary characters, mythological characters, and legendary characters. And I'm really excited because RJ is going to do RJ from the Fourth Age is going to do a video on myth, legends, and folklores, the differences, because I kind of use the terms a little interchangeably, whatever. Okay, the art of Vinnie Tartaglia. This is volume 1 and 2. This is volume 3. He was on my channel. I really like his art. The only problem that I have with the art is the eyes are always staring at me. And it's a little unsettling. But this guy could draw and this guy could color. Oh my God, I would love, well, there are comics by him, but I would, full on Marvel and DC. Why aren't they hiring this guy? He's really good, really talented. Probably doesn't make enough money to work for Marvel and DC. Really good talent. Fun guy to talk to too. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. This was a Voyage, the first issue. So this is this space alien. My only problem with this is it's really well drawn. The coloring is good. Storytelling is excellent, but it's video game story. I got to get the 8 pieces. I got to get the 7 coins. I got to get the 6 Infinity Stones. I got to get, Shane Davis did it with Starlight Cats. Got to get the jewels. Andy Smith did it with First Human or First Man, and then he's got to get the pieces of the magic orb. It's a video game. This is like everybody plays video games, and then they make a comic. We got to gather all the pieces. And this is City of Venus. This is by Vinnie Tartaglia. So he writes, draws, does everything for this. Again, she's staring right at me. It's a little unsettling. But man, can he draw? The only thing is, does this thigh look a little too big, right? Little too big. Mighty Crusaders this is okay. So I'll put these in order. So this is Mighty Crusaders number 1. I did a Sunday Comics on Mighty Crusaders. Terrible. I forgot to mention it was written by Jerry Siegel, who, one of the guys who created Superman, the writer who created, Jerry Siegel wrote Superman. Schuster drew Superman, I think. I'm probably getting it backwards, mixed up or whatever. But it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible, but it's charming at the same time. Now, I got a little mixed up. I thought this was their first appearance because it's the first Mighty Crusaders, but the Mighty Crusaders debuted in Flyman. So there you go. Another rabbit hole I have to get into. So I have to get Flyman comics. So this is Inferno, the Destroyer. They would have a field day. This guy had his rainbow hat today, huh? The comet with his rainbow hat. You can almost swell with pride. And then this is Evil Lurks Among Us. Like, this was actually good. The Eternal Smiler. No, the Undying Smiler. What a creepy name for a villain. If they bring back the Mighty Crusaders. If I ever get a chance to write the Mighty Crusaders, you better believe I'm bringing back the Undying Smiler. I got to address this comment. Are you reading that or just collecting? Reading. I read every I may take forever. Believe it or not, I'm a very slow reader, but I read every comic. I guess you could call me a liar because I still got 18 long boxes of comics that I haven't read yet, but it's my intention. They don't get mixed in with what I call the general population until I read them. So I have right on the floor right here, I have 2 long boxes of comics. I have a spinner rack of comics, and I got stacks of comics. And then in the room, I literally have 18 long boxes of comics that I haven't read. But by every intention, like if I was to win the lottery and I don't have to work, every day I would wake up, drink my coffee, water the lawn, do whatever I have to do at the house, come home, get a hit, work on my comic book, and then spend the rest of the day free time reading comics. I don't even want to watch TV anymore. The only TV show I watch is reruns of the Venture Brothers. And every time I watch I catch stuff I didn't get. Cannot recommend the Venture Brothers enough. Greatest TV show of all time, except for The Odd Couple. So here is more Vinnie Tarnmill. This is Shadow of the Kraken. It's a pirate story. Just good artist. Good artist. Needs a little help with the writing. This is Phantasma. This is Jimmy Palmiotti. This is another Jungle comic. Pretty interesting story. Guy, rich kid, kind of has a heart of gold. He gets in trouble because his stupid friend is can't pass the test, so he passes them the answers. He gets caught. Keep in mind he's like in 5th grade. So his father's punishing him, and his father's a good guy. So he says to him, "You can't come on our trip this weekend. You have to stay home. There's consequences. You want to help your dumb buddy? Well, now you got to stay home and tutor him for the weekend." Logical consequences. Dad didn't beat him up. He didn't yell at him. He didn't spoil him. So he didn't get to go on the yacht for the 4-day trip. Well, it's a good thing because the freak storm killed his family. And he spends the rest of his life tracking down this girl who he saw pictures from, like an environmentalist from Last Tribe, who may or may not be his sister. The only, it's a little woke, climate change. It's a little. It works with the context of the story. I liked it. My problem was it was realistic, and then magic. It was a little, and the only thing, I do not believe for a second that Jimmy Palmiotti wrote this. This is all Craig Whedon, and Jimmy Palmiotti said, "Let me put my name on it, and we'll get it. It'll get more sales," because Jimmy Palmiotti did not write this, but I liked it. So it's written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Craig Whedon, drawn by Pierre Brito, and but it's okay. I didn't mind it. It's good. These covers are awesome. I don't know. I'm kind of fascinated by like tribes that still live in the Amazon, or like those islands off of New Guinea that like uncontacted, like that one in India, Sentinel Island, that they'll just kill you if you land on the island, and then every once in a while some stupid preacher goes there and he's going to be the one to convert them, and they just murder him. Like they don't even know exactly how many people live there. I'm fascinated by that. I would love to make a comic about that. I'm torn by what I want to do. I'm torn by the Sentinel Island people are the good guys, and they're protecting us from some horrible Cthulhu type monster that lives in that island. Don't come here, don't disturb them. We understand how to keep them from waking up, kind of thing. And I'm also thinking of, it is what it is. That's just them. And then some guy who's just like, I want to kill. I'm a serial killer, but I'm going to go to one of these primitive islands, sneak onto Sentinel and kill people because they don't know how many people are there. There'll never be any proof. And then they're going to try to kill me. So it's an adrenaline rush. I don't know which story do I want to do. So here we got some Cerebus. Cerebus was a big slog. This is the church and state story, the high society story. Oh my God. Everybody talks about it. It's the greatest thing ever. I could not stand it. It was so boring. It was Cerebus in a room talking to advisors for like, I don't know how many issues. seemed like 1,000, and I didn't like it. Now he's moving about a little bit, little more is happening. He's the Pope, and he's such an unlikable, miserable, mean, despicable character, So I'm surprised I like it. Like the original 20 or so issues were definitely my favorite. He was a barbarian running around drinking, killing and drinking and whoring it up and everything, and they never really explained why he looks like an aardvark, but it's picking up. It's picking up, So these are the issues that I've been reading. So so like I said, this is the church and state story. These are pretty good. Art is outstanding. The art is just phenomenal. And then Gerhardt joined around here. So like Dave Sim was like really taxing himself and really using every trick in the book to fill the comic with blacks. And I think that's why High Society was just in a room, because it was easy to fill the room with shadows. It's medieval world, just have a room with just like a beam of light. And I think that was his trick. And then he has Gerhardt, and I think that's really, really opened up the comic so that he's going around and doing stuff again. And this is this is Battle Brick Road. This is Eric Weathers. I did not realize Eric Weathers could draw so well. So Eric Weathers, like, do you guys realize he's like the guy like lettering almost all of the indie crowdfund comics these days? But he could draw. I think he also colors. What I like about this is it's a reimagining of the Wizard of Oz. Now, what I like about it is it's not just a replacement. It's its own story based on the Wizard of Oz. So it's familiar, and at the same time it's different. I love the Wizard of Oz. Yes, he's John Workman. Good comment. Yeah, I use Bill Williams for my letterer. I'm biased. I like my letterer. That Battle Brick Road is pretty good. I do like it. I like it enough. I'm back in the next issue. I want to see where it's going. It's not what I would have done. I love the Wizard of Oz. I love Alice in Wonderland. I love all of those all ages kids literature. I have a really unique take on the Wizard of Oz that I hope to be able to tell. And when the main story arc, with this story arc that I'm starting with is over, I'm going to explore some really weird corners of my world, and how the Wizard of Oz led to the creation of Science City, the city that the Patriarch patrols and lives in. Is, if I can pat myself in the back, I think it's really unique and interesting. So you'll see how the Wizard of Oz is a big deal in my story of heroic tales. So I was really excited to read this, and then I saw that it was so different, and I was disappointed. But then by the end, I liked it. This is the best. It's going to be $140 to read. Yeah. That's the problem with crowdfunding. This is it in a nutshell. I like it, but is it $140? Now you hit me with a harsh dose of reality over here. Forgive this coffee stain. I got to clean this. But yeah, $140. What is that? So it's like $30 a book. That's the problem. Like, that's, to be honest, that's why I didn't get any Rippaverse comics. I didn't hate them. I just didn't like them $35 each. Like, when I saw that Ripper was doing a $5 sale, I'll get them. I'll get them for $5. $5, they're fine. But for $35, are they fine? That's the problem, especially me out of work. Although I'm hoping next week is my last week off. The doctor on Monday, I hope, clears me. But yeah, good comment, Student OG. I liked it. Do I like it $140 worth? It's easy to buy it because you get it drip release once every 8 months, and then you get all four of them together, and you're like, man, that story cost me $140. Yeah, it is a great cover. It is a great cover. I went through a roller coaster. I was first off like, wow, this guy could draw. You know, he could color, he could letter. You know, he could make his own comic. I'm just glad that Dorothy's not some lesbian, you know, man-hating lesbian. You know, she might still be. We don't know, but it was a completely different take, more science fiction, futuristic science fiction in a world where The Wizard of Oz was never written. Because if the Wizard of Oz was written, then the story makes no sense. You know what I mean? Because then they could be like, this is just like that story, you know. So I don't know. In this economy, alternative newsprint is the way. Yes, you're absolutely 100% correct on that, because that's what got me into. I didn't know Alterna. I walked into a comic book store and I just saw a comic for $1.50. This was Fourth World Comics right by me, and I just picked it up, thinking, what is this, you know? And then I found out about Alterna, and I was just like it or leave it. You know, I'm not gonna lie. There's some Alterna comics I just didn't like. I just don't talk about them. But they were so cheap. Who gave a crap? You know, they were so cheap. Just you know. So I got them, and then when they went to online, I just back them. You know, and you know, I was a little pissed when some of the comics got canceled on issue 4 on a 5-issue series. That really pissed me off. Some creators left because they wanted to be on it. You know, that's you know, that's fine. You know, I imagine artists are difficult to work with, just like being in a band. It's almost amazing when a band sticks together for as long as they do. You know, that, you know, creative musical artist people or whatever. But I like alternative. Even if you don't like it, what are you out? So there you go. People again are messaging me. So this now, I'm also turning this into I didn't read this yet, but I might as well. I'm enjoying this. We got a bunch of people in the chat. Alpha Red says comics used to be filled with advertisement that lowers the cost. Yeah, now there's only house ads. No wonder they cost so much. I should sell. Yeah. Fun Factory, BB guns, Hostess fruit pies. You know, the ads are part of the comics that I love. I'm like Encrypted more and more. Yes, yeah. And that's just it. Even if you're like, it's okay, it's still cheap enough, you know, but it happens to be a good comic, you know. So this is by Ben Soto, you know, sent me a mug, and I didn't read these yet. So this is a, you know, back issue bonanza, I guess. So I got all of these comics. So this is 1, 2, 3. So I put them in the correct order. So I read them in the correct order. And then these are more back issues that I just bought. I didn't read them yet. So here is number 1 of The Fly, The Adventures of the Fly, which turns into Fly Man and then spawns the Mighty Crusaders. So Cerberus Jam. This is a one-shot. This is like a jam issue, meaning it's a whole bunch of artists, writers. They all got together like over a week and pumped out one comic. There's only one issue. You know, this was like still only like $2 or $3. This is AV in 3D. So this is Aardvark Vanaheim Comics 3D. So it's Journey, Neil the Horse, and Cerberus. You know, that's how I am. When I get into something, I get into it. And this was, you know, I always joke that every time I listen to What You're Reading with Chuck Dixon, it costs me money. But I didn't know this comic existed. So this is a 6-issue series by Chuck Dixon and Butch Geis, you know, called Storming Paradise. I just got it today. I didn't read it yet. And it's historical fiction. What if we never bombed Japan and we went in with conventional troops? So it's Chuck Dixon and Butch Geis doing a super realistic alternate story on storming Japan and the costs and lives. And Chuck Dixon makes a compelling argument that it would have been the destruction of Japan. You know, we bombed Japan and then they surrendered and we basically left them alone. You know, we occupied them, but we didn't, you know, they still have the emperor, they still have that. But his argument is they destroyed Germany. They divided Germany. Half a comment, Eastern Germany. Because could you imagine if America, we would have wanted revenge? We would have like destroyed the culture. The Japanese, culture identity would have been completely lost. Is his what's the word? Theory, argument, thesis. So I got to read this. I love stuff like that. I just realized my phone is recording everything I'm saying. So there you go. It's a good argument. Yeah, I never thought of it. I've always heard, I mean, even as a kid, I remember saying like dropping the bomb on Japan saved lives, because they said it would have been 1 million casualties on the American side to force Japan to surrender. Like, we forget, like, what did we kill 40,000 people when we dropped the bomb on Nagasaki and Hiroshima? That's 80,000 people. We did a conventional regular bombs, regular on Tokyo, and they say that killed 180,000. So nobody seems to mind that we killed 180,000 people in Tokyo with conventional bombing, but everybody's pissed off that we killed 40,000 with atom bombs. You can't win. So there you go. That's today's. That's today. The doctor news is my spine is healing. My vertebrae is healing, but the doctor wants me to go check. I did an MRI today. Okay, this camera had the sound. Okay, sorry about that. So as I was saying, can you hear me now? Can you hear now? Yes, no? Can you hear me? Yes, can you hear me? Somebody say something in the chat. Okay. So as I was saying, I Wednesday I went to the doctor. She was checking the bones. We saw the thing, the vertebrae is healing nicely. And she was ready to say go back to work on Monday. And then I was just like, okay, what about the dizziness? And she's like, what are you talking about? So I never tell anybody. Why tell anybody? But like, when I turn my head, I get dizzy. So when I stand up, I get dizzy. Ever since I took the neck brace off, I get dizzy. So she's like, why didn't you tell me that? I'm like, oh, I don't know. So she's like, no, go get an MRI. So I went and got an MRI this morning. They're doing a brain scan. She doesn't know. It could be my ear. It could be a pinched artery. Could be a whole bunch of different things. She's not the specialist in that. So Monday, I'm actually going to a neuro doctor, a brain doctor. They're going to find nothing. So, and then that's the last step to get cleared. So odds are next week is my last week out of work, which is good because I'm freaking broke. And me buying Adventures of the Fly #1 is not very smart of me to do at this time of life. Hi, how you doing? This is John. This is NPR News. So there you go. That's what's going on. So tomorrow at 8 p.m., I will be doing It's Clobbering Time, Superman vs. Gladiator. Not my favorite, but that's what the crowd seemed to want. But I'm doing Executive Privilege. And next Friday, we're doing Batman vs. Spider-Man, because I have a lot to say about that. Also, at 5 p.m. tomorrow, I will be on Telepathic Bunny's channel. Cooper will be me and him one-on-one. I think that's the first time I'll ever be live one-on-one on his channel. And tonight, Vaughn Coleman is messaging me. It looks like there might be some sort of like dinner with all of the like Rini and all of those people who go to Comic-Con. So today is Comic-Con. I live in New York. I'm not interested in new Marvel stuff, new DC stuff. So I didn't buy a ticket. I remember when I first started going to Comic-Con, the tickets were $40 each. So that wasn't bad. Now the tickets are like $400. I'm out of work. I can't really spend the money on that, but I will ride the train and go meet everybody if Vaughn actually sets up a time and a place. He's got to give me 2 hours to get there, because that's how long it's going to take to wait for the train, get to the train, get to Penn Station, and then go wherever we're meeting. So that's my itinerary. Sunday is Sunday Comics. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. If anybody has any suggestions for Sunday Comics, just either message me, put it in the regular comments, or DM me on Twitter. And the digital proofs. I got the digital proofs for my comic. They look awesome. A package was coming the other day, and I thought it was the proofs, but it wasn't. It was something my wife ordered. So that's why I was like, the only thing that's coming to me is. So I called them yesterday just to ask, because I'm nervous, and they said that the digital proofs are ready. And then she emailed me the links, and they look good. Look so good. And I'm not going to spoil names, but a few people that read the comic already, and they said, and I'm like, what do you think? And they're like, you're going to like your reception. So that, and then, my friends don't like it, but they're my friends. My wife likes it, but she's my wife, What else was I going to say? Oh yeah. So they mailed out the physical proofs. So I should be getting the physical proofs. Geez, how long? Tomorrow, Monday, get the physical proofs. And then when you get the physical proofs, it just comes with the QR code, and you scan it, and it takes you right to the website, and you click go, so there you go. And then Heroic Tales is ready to go. Do you guys want to see a spoiler? I promised a spoiler on my channel last night, but then I couldn't find it. So it's not that I couldn't find it. It's just it took too long. So I'm kind of all ready to go with the spoiler. Do you guys want to see a spoiler? I'm gonna tease you until do that miserable thing. You guys want to see it? You want to see it? So I'm just setting it up. Okay. So let's see. Sound is good. So what happened is this camera is the main camera. This is the add-on camera. So when I closed out this camera, it took away the mic. So this is the actual mic instead of that one up there. I got to remember that. Whatever one starts, and then when you add, the added camera doesn't have a mic. So when I close down that one, that's why I was muted. Ernest asked, did I ever find Star Wars #4? No, I did not find #4, and I did not find Sergeant Fury #1. I must have just mixed them. And I'm not going to pull out every comic and go through every box to find them. It's just one of those things where I'll find it when I find it. I have a theory where Sergeant Fury #1 is. Matter of fact, I'll go look now that you made me think, because I bought on eBay a bundle of all the Sergeant Fury and Howling Commandos annuals, and I think I might have put that with the annuals and then put that in the comics I haven't read yet. So Alpha Red says, spoil away. Star Wars #4, I have no idea where it is. No idea where it is. According to my database, I have it, and my database crashed. So the fact that I have it means I recently added it in. So yeah, so I have to have it. I just must have put it in the wrong spot. Afro SF says, hey, John and chat, I'm late. It's okay. I won't hold it against you. So Alex Johnson says, yes, spoilers. Okay, so let's spoiler Rooney. That's not what I want to show. This is what I want to show. So here you go. Let's get rid of that. Let's make this big. So this is the cover to Heroic Tales #2. This is the variant cover. Renzo didn't draw his cover yet. So, he likes to draw the whole issue and then pick out like his favorite scene. So he didn't draw the cover yet. So this is the cover to the Patriarch story, which will be titled Subterranean Homesick Blues. So there's the Patriarch, and there is the Subterranean. So he's covered in mushrooms and horrific, and these are his mold men. So Subterranean Homesick Blues. That is issue 2. And remember, it's a flip book. So when you flip it over, you will get this. So let me you'll get this. Could you see? So this is the Renzo Mary Sue, because he's done drawing the Mary Sue story, and then he did the cover. So this is the actual cover for issue number 2. So when you flip it over, so so one comic, the A comic will be Renzo Mary Sue. Flip it over, Renzo Patriarch. Patriarch story is 22 pages. The Mary Sue story is 15 pages. So right then and there, that's 37 pages. Now I have to make it 40 pages. It has to be divisible by 4. So, I'm not going to take away 1 page. So I'll put in 3 pages of ads and then 1 page letters. So there you go. There you go. So there's Mary Sue. Look how young and cute she is over here, and this is all representative of the actual story. So there you go. And Alex Johnson says, nice, a big villain. Oh yeah. Yeah. The Subterranean. He's a big guy. He's a big physical villain. It's not too difficult to figure out who he's an homage to. The Subterranean. He has moldoids, so whatever. I take it that you like that. You like that. That's badass. Thank you. That cover looks great. I tell you guys, I got the cover to Eddie is Doomed. I got the cover to issue 2, and then I look at all the covers to issue 1. Say what you want, make fun of me, call me older than Peter, Paul, and Mary, like somebody said, call me a fatso, but admit the covers are awesome. You got, whatever. And speaking of awesome, how you doing, Dave? How you doing? How's everything? Dave is another guy who just gets it. He just gets it. That monster on the cover looks interesting. Well, it's a human. It's a humanoid. He's the Subterranean. I drew a picture. That's one thing I'd like to do if I well, let's be hopeful. When I get to do a trade paperback of like 6 issues, I want to include my drawings of all the characters. That'll be funny. Can you actually use the name Mary Sue? Because, I'm not using Mary Sue. Did you see her name? It's not. And nobody has a character named Mary Sue. But look at the spelling. It's S-U, an actual Chinese name. So can I use it? Well, point out the character Mary Sue in any other work of literature, film, books. I think I'm the first one. The book looks great. The moldoids look like myconids from, definitely inspiration again. And a lot of D&D inspiration. Look at this monster. Could you guess what monster? I spoiled it on RJ's channel last night, but could you guess what monster this is inspired by? Now, it's not, but it's inspired by a D&D monster. There's a lot of D&D in my comics. Wait do you get to like magic? There are a couple of magic using super characters. I love this character. The character in the blonde, her name is Karen. So I think that tells you everything you need to know about her. So there you go. If you could guess what monster this monster is based on, right over here, you get a Nope prize. So I'll give it another couple of seconds. As always, I close down when the comments die down. So I'll bring this back. I make no bones about it. Like we are what we are. We're just a collection of our experience stuff. But yes, a lot of my comics, if you really want to analyze them, you could see. Oh, I just realized that there's some bleed on this. Oh, I just saw this. I got to get that fixed unless there's another. Okay. Here's the actual cover. That was me toying with it. So here's the actual cover. You can see the whole thing. And then I can make it bigger. There you go. Cool. So here's the actual cover without the. I put a layer behind it by accident. So, again, you can see my inspirations. Patriarch is, I make no bones about it, he's inspired by the greatest superhero of all, Superman. The Subterranean. Guys, who am I goofing on? Who am I homaging on? I make no bones about it. But it's my own character at the same time. And then yes, Marconids or mold men, Is it the alien? No. Renzo added that. In my description, it didn't have that. Renzo added that. Rancor? No. Oh. But if you play, I already admitted it's a D&D monster. It's the Slads. The Slads. So if you ever played a D&D, you might know the Slads. So there you go. There's everything. I can't shut down this window because that'll take down the sound. Nice cover. Thank you, Alex. So speaking of nice covers, the Mike Gustovich cover didn't sell as well as I was hoping. I'm taking a bath on the whole comic. But I would just because Mike Gustovich did such a wonderful cover, I was hoping that more people would back that cover. So that's still live on Indiegogo. You can still go to Fund My Comic and get the comic also. So the Kickstarter is actually done. Whoa, was that the previews? Yeah, I showed the covers. The Slads do the body bursting. Do they? I just like this toad-like aliens from beyond time space. So that's kind of what I borrowed. Like I'm going to return it. Yeah. So I showed two of the 4 covers for issue 2, and I can't stop showing the Eddie is Doomed cover. Did you guys see the Eddie is Doomed cover? Do you want to see the Eddie is Doomed cover? Did I show it? I just freaking love that cover. I've shown this before. I just love that. Eddie is doomed. Eddie is doomed. Poor Eddie. So those are the 3 finished covers that I have in the pipe. That as soon as the last comic goes out for Heroic Tales, which I don't know, how long is it going to take me to ship out? Like 500 books. I got 283 backers. Most of them backed more than one comic. A variant cover. A couple of people backed like seven comics. So yeah. So I gotta make 200 packages and mail them out. Well, I got to make a minimum of 283 packages. What am I talking about? I got 283 backers. So 300 packages. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I never did it before. But as soon as the last one goes out, I'm going to dance around in my underwear. And then when I'm done dancing around in my underwear, I'm going to build the campaign for Heroic Tales 2. Because Renzo is done with the Mary Sue and he's starting the Patriarch story. A few weeks ago, I discussed with Pow our own version of the character your Subterranean is based on. It started with the idea to call the character Monster Master. That alone, yeah, good. Oh wow, I'm so glad that I got a good name before Dave. So there's that. Yes, they put their eggs inside of other beings and let nature take its course. That's how they multiply. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I just know them from the Fiend Folio. No visuals, dude. What do you mean? But I'm going to go. Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow, 5 o'clock on Telepathic Bunny's channel, 8 o'clock here for It's Clobbering Time. It's Clobbering Time, as always, is an open invite. So come on in. Tell us how you think Superman vs. Gladiator will go. All right? I'm going to end. Bye-bye.